Darkness is all around us. It welcomes us. It invites us in. But through the darkness, light has come to expose it. To save us from darkness, so that we may see. Light is love. Light is truth. Light is life. Do you live in the light? Or do you dwell in the dark? Glow where the dark meets the light. This is Growth Group Unplugged.
Welcome, everyone. Sorry for the late start and delay. Welcome to the third season of Growth Group Unplugged from New Heights. First installment of that season. We're getting started today with a great, fresh new topic. Welcome to all the listeners everybody that's on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, be a part of this tonight as we bring the council in and give you tonight's topic for Growth Group Unplugged. We're going to start off. First off, let me just say who I am. Tonight, we're going to be missing Carlos. Due to technical difficulties, we haven't been able to get him in today. But he is here in the background, making sure that everything goes well. We always appreciate him for everything he does to make sure that this platform is functional and ready. But we're going to start off with I guess, what we call that? What you call it in school?
Roll call?
I missed the word. What roll call? There we go. I knew Taylor had that.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
Up top.
Yeah. I'm
Hi, y'all. What's good, y'all? I'm Lonnie. Good to meet y'all.
I'm Carlos from the West Coast.
West Side.
Yeah.
Kiana.
What's up?
Hey, everybody. Okay.
And I'll be playing host tonight. It's Sunny, from the South Side. I guess that's my tag now.
The man, the myth,
so tonight.
That's a lot of that's giving him a lot of credit, bro.
Good.
Okay. Sorry.
All right, son. You it.
Okay.
I humbly stand to that title. Anyway, tonight we want to get into a discussion tonight. And it's not so much of a question, it's more so of a kind of a thought. And it's the price or the cost of a yes. What does saying yes to God as a Christian, what does that cost you? And even in life, what is the price of a yes? What is that, and what reverence does that play? What importance does that play in our life to understand the cost of a yes? So we're gonna start with Taylor and get her opening thoughts on that.
The cost of a yes also comes with a lot of no's. I think the cost of the yes in like saying yes to Christ also includes um that understanding of like I'm picking up my cross, right? It means the cost of the yes is I can't do everything that I used to do. Um, but what I can do is so much better than anything that I couldn't have done anyway, if that makes sense. Like all the things that like we think are cool or are of the world, like I have to put that away. But the things that I can do are so much more influential and are going to touch more people's lives anyway. So that, like it outweighs. But a yes is heavy. Like a cost of a yes, that is a pretty penny. It is a really pretty penny, but it's worth it, you know? Um, but yeah, so opening statement.
Lovely. I appreciate that. Appreciate you for sharing that. Next, let's go with Trendy.
The price or cost of a yes. The first thing I think about is what I see and what I know is it seems easier to say yes to other humans than to God, if that makes sense. Like we're willing to break our backs for maybe people who don't mean us any good, or maybe we just over expel ourselves, but we're not doing that in return to God. And I am that person. I find it hard because it's like I feel like if I say yes, that's still not enough, but it is. So just thinking about that, that's one of the first things that popped in my head was, like Taylor said, sometimes yeses do come with a lot of no's and they're necessary to get to the ultimate yes. And that's being closer to God. So that's what I think.
Wonderful. I like that. Let's go with Lonnie. We missed you for the last couple weeks. Good to see you back, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Likewise, it's great to be back on with you all, and thank God I'm able to be on. I'm going to ditto with little details Taylor's remarks. I definitely appreciate my sister Trinity as well. Where I'm coming, but I ditto Taylor's. The cost of yeses is going to be it's going to be a lot of no's. I say start off with no. And when you say yes to God, no, you're not going to be liked by everybody. No, you're not going to be heavily respected all the time when you're trying to say yes to God and trying to do his will. However, I would say the price of that yes is priceless. Like as far as those, when I say yes to God, I can deal with the fact of not being liked all the time. I can deal with the fact of no, not going to get, the world is not going to be able to understand or be impressed. And then when they sit up and say, oh, how you even do it? And they able to end up saying that, yes, because I said yes to Christ and his will, that is the most priceless thing, because not only do in turn my pieces are, the piece will always be validated, but at the same time, it would encourage them to be able to say, oh, wow, if he can be able to shake this and not be moved by this. Because like I said, in this situation, I was telling you all about what happened with this position, everything I just happened in my school from Friday to today. I still have coworkers that sit up here like, wow, how you sit up here and still be able to handle this. And they prayed, and I prayed with that, with that group, but I already knew God was already taking care of. So I was like, yeah, that's that. So that's that priceless moment right there. With that. So yeah, so the cost of a yes is priceless, but don't shake it. Those no's are heavy, but God will help you take care and help take us through those. So that's my starting off piece.
Love it. My guy from the West Coast, Carlos, what we got?
Man, I like everything that's been shared so far. I guess I'll just add on to the no piece that to really say yes to God is to say no to everything that is anti-God. And that could be in the world, that could be in your family, that could even be in the church, right? I think the no for me, though, is highlighted in the sense that a lot of times when we think about like really following Christ, we think about what I can't do and where I can't go and who I can't hang with, right? When you really say yes, it's not so much more of a what you can't do, but more of a what you won't do, right? Like I'm not willing to go there. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to, you know, go back to my old ways and my old stomping grounds. Like it's a different mindset, like growing up, we're taught, oh, I'm a Christian, so I can't smoke, I can't drink, I can't da 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 da. But man, when you grow and you really choose God, like for real, like willingly, then you realize, man, there's stuff that you're no longer willing to compromise, right, for your spiritual sanity. And lastly, saying yes to God really is I think of that verse where I think it's Peter who says, "Godliness with contentment, great gain." Right? Uh, Sadly, some people preach Christ for prosperity's sake. Oh, if you choose God, you're gonna get all the blessings and monetary um, prosperity, right? But it's like, man, choosing God is like a peace that you can't pay for. You know what I'm saying? And like that godliness is like it's profitable in all areas of our lives. I'm complete.
Wow. Man, that is. I gotta touch on some more stuff for that. That's amazing what you shared. Key, bring it up with that. We know what you got something to say. We know you got something good to say. Let me hear it, Key.
The cost and the value, or the cost and the price of the yes or whatever. I would just say, read the contract, whatever you're saying yes or whatever you're agreeing to do. Just make sure that you know all the terms that you're agreeing, to once you're saying that yes. Just don't go into even Christianity or anything. Will you? Yes. Because I know that's not how I am, and I know I get, called mean or whatever for asking a lot of questions before I get my answer. But I just, before I do say yes, I need to know what is expected of me, and I know myself enough. If I can't, if I can or if I don't want to live up to that yes, then no explanation. Maybe if I feel like it, no. It's like I said, is the value or cost of yes is not the yes, is what you're saying yes to. So make sure you know the terms before you say yes.
That one was real. I like that. Read the fine print. Read the fine print. Because like this yes is not a easy yes to take. Like this is no joking matter. Like this is literally life or death, literally life or death. So like you can't just say, oh yes, I'm gonna do it, and then half do it. That's
Let's get into
it. I just remember as a kid always hearing that lukewarm story. Like God doesn't accept lukewarm. Like you either have to be cold or you got to be hot. And I always just remember like being on the fence and like being in the middle of the fence because I just didn't know. And I think he's right. And even now, as I'm older, it's like you have to read the fine print. Like even in a contract, like you can't just sign a contract and hope for the best. Like, no, you have to, Trent, like you have to do your investigation. Like you have to know what it is for yourself. And I mean, the yes is worth it, but if you don't know it for yourself, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get the real experience of it,
Yeah. If you don't know what comes along with the yes, because the yes isn't always what you want.
Right.
So if you don't
Right.
even know
So
what comes along with it and you agree to it, like there's the fine print.
Right.
and
You
what
need
about?
to
I
know.
got a question for y'all. So when so you end up talking about you gonna say yes to something and turn around no. That would be a breach of contract, right? And what is looked at, and then when you breach contract, when you breach a contract or contract, what do you look like?
Untrustworthy is what I
But
think about.
is that a breach of contract first? I mean, what? I mean, that's too. I'm
Well,
not answer that line. That's too vague because I can sign this contract and also say no, I'm not doing it and stand on it and also be within the confines of that contract. So what?
well, I'm
Sunny,
saying
Sunny,
if in the contract, Kiana was asked that you saying yes, I'm going to do that, and you sign your name on it, because like most of the time, like, if they don't have it on that, no, you and I do. If you sign yes, I'm going to do that, and then you turn around and don't do it, but you sign your name agreeing saying you would, yes, you will do it. Then that's why I was asking what would that end up looking like as that,
I
So
because that
mean,
would technically be a breach of contract.
so
Can I speak
so
on
Lonnie,
that?
before
Oh
we
yeah, go ahead.
oh
Oh,
well,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I just want to get
I
real.
was, before we go there, because
yeah,
I'm
I
sorry,
love I
Sonny.
love the question. Before we go there, I want to give real quick. I want to get my opening real quick before we go there because
Oh yeah,
I like the pose of that question. I think when I give this opening, it's going to kind of go ahead and squelch that because first and foremost, we have to realize the price of the yes, first and foremost, is given from your own free will. There'd be
Yeah.
no reason for you to say yes if you don't want to already go ahead and
correct.
comply with this thing that you've already searched out, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yes, sir.
got a yes, it's not something blind. You've already been kind of and not coerced, but you've done the work yourself. So what I was kind of trying to get to this conversation tonight on is what is the cost of this free thing that we're giving for something that we plan to gain everlasting life from, right? What's that cost, right? We understand that nothing in life is free but salvation. But when we give yes to God,
Yes,
what
sir.
is our actual debt? Or what's our entry fee, right? Because once you say yes, it's not just a declaration and then no charge. A yes prompts an action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do those actions actually actually consist of, right? When you say yes, that I want to go ahead and become an employee of this particular entity or business, what do you agree to? You agree to the terms and the policies that this place is put for your particular department of employment to do. Like you have this
Yes, sir.
job, and in those jobs you have these requirements, you have these descriptions. And when you say yes, you go to say, I put myself in there to abide by this and to work in this. Same thing when you say yes to God. And that's the thing. Like if you hadn't taken the time to really search out what you're applying for, you might get
Mm-hmm.
tripped up when God tells you something that you may not agree with in your current state of mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? We got to understand when you
Agree.
say yes to God, that sometimes it comes with situations and circumstances that we're not familiar with at that time. Being a new Christian, I remember myself being what you would call a new Christian in Christ, right? I grew up as a preacher's kid, but whenever I found God for myself and I gave him my yes for real,
Come on.
because I like that you said that earlier. When I gave him my yes for real,
Come
now,
on.
now when things got real, when the bill came due,
Come on.
when the action came up to front, that's when I realized, oh,
Come on.
I really can't. It's not that I even can't do this no more. Like my brother said, Carlos said, it's that I shouldn't even want to. I shouldn't have a will to want to do these things that don't fit within the confines of what my father said. This yes was okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Amen.
you can check yourself at the door, but even after you check yourself at the door and you say, okay, this application looks good, this fine print is good, I'm gonna sign this. Yes, there's still a heavier weight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's still more of a call. I want to really dig into that extra heavy weight that's there, because I don't know, it's not lost in translation. I don't think it's lost in translation, but I think practically it's not being expressed to people who want to walk this road of godliness and don't realize that it's not easy. It's not streamlined. There is some baggage you got to deal with. You do have to sacrifice of yourself. You do have to put yourself on the back burner. Sometimes you will be reprimanded. Sometimes you will carry some scars, even when you're doing the right thing. Sometimes you won't get away from your circumstance. You'll get deeper into it, and God will tell you to be there until He bring you through. There's some cost to that, yes. So I want to really delve into that.
Carlos, Carlos.
I see.
Yeah, so
let me go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead, Carlos.
You expounded, and I was gonna go somewhere different. I'm just gonna throw this out there. So, two things. We just had a summit at our congregation, and the theme was, "Why am I still a member of the church?" Right? And there was a lot of us young adults, millennial age. Why am I still here? Basically. And man, look, and by the grace of God, I was able to keynote. Right? So, Psalms 27, David said, "This one thing I desired is that I might seek your dwelling, your habitat, all the days of my life." Right? John 6, Peter said, "Man, to whom shall we go, Lord? You have the keys of eternal life." Right? Last Sunday, 2 days ago, I preached on Joshua 24, and we always quote that verse, right? I call these a refrigerator verse and tattoo verses, right? Basically, man, I don't know about y'all, but it's like, choose you this day who you will serve. As for me and mine, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna serve the Lord. And it sounds so good, but you have to really think about what he's saying, because before that he says, serving God might be undesirable to you. Like that's a reality. Like, man, God really, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm really feeling this. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think it's important that we think about the price of yes, the cost of yes. And my last thought is, I'll share this personally, right? So like, we go into marriage, right? And we propose, the man says, "Will you marry me?" The woman says, "I do," right? Those are choices, right? And then we bear witness before God, before the church, our family, and we say, "For sickness and health, till death do us part, for better or for worse," right? That's what we sign up for, right? I'm personally going through a divorce. You know what I'm saying? In the church. And you don't think like, man, wait a minute, how do we get here? Because we both believers, we both Christians, right? So then you start to think, man, okay, I guess those words really didn't mean much, because we both said yes, we both agreed to commit to each other, but at some point down the road, one of us didn't choose God, right? And that's the only way that two people cannot walk together. Somebody has to, at some point, stop saying yes to God, stop choosing God. I mean, life happens, you know what I'm saying? Life happens, but if we're going to say yes, we got to say yes in the hard times, the rough times, the hopeless, helpless times, right? So, I mean, that's the real cost right there.
So, wow. Before we tap into all of that, there's so much to tap into. Paige's opening remarks are, the cost of a yes is a constant process of self-denial. And the cost of a yes is the death to someone that holds value to you. God said yes to us, and it cost him his only begotten son. It's almost like he did it. Why is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be hard for us to do the same, if, you know what I'm saying, if we follow him.
Yeah.
As we should.
It shouldn't Trinity, but like what Carlos just mentioned, again, when choices, when choice, because that's what happened with God gave Adam direction to pass to Eve, don't eat off that fruit. Eve chose to listen to Satan and still eat the fruit, as well as passing on to Adam, and Adam chose to partake of it. And after that, those out in those directions came, those choices came. So now that's where we stuck at. Man, yeah, we decided to make this choice that I don't want, just like what Kiki was just saying earlier about with the contract. If we sign off on something and still we can say no and no, and that's honest. That's great that we being honest that we saying no that we not gonna do nothing, but that's a choice. But then we still have people who will sign a contract and say, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, like what Carlos just said. Yeah, I'll be willing for better or for worse. And we'll turn around as soon as you really get sick,
the commitment is no longer present.
Right. They breaching contract.
And that's with yourself too. God first, but that's also within yourself. Like,
yeah.
It's
because many times because when we talk about the devil made us do something, I really are like, if it's already our own minds enticing, where those enticements started in our minds. So when we decide in our own choices that we're going to end up going no against God, that's a choice that we start to make, and it hurts. And that's where that cost of that breach contract, it's gonna be heavy there.
There's some good nuggets.
Yeah, I say this is a very good topic, y'all. It's definitely it's a lot of deep stuff that you all shared in there. So come on, jump in, son, because I know you're ready.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit distracted at the moment, but at the same time, it plays into this. I said yes to a few things in the last couple months that have cost me a lot of time. It's cost me to lose a lot of time, lose a bit of sleep, all to make sure that things stay afloat. Right. The heavier the yes, the bigger the sacrifice. Right. Like the more, watch this, the more grand, the more valuable, the more responsible, the more righteous the yes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like I'm gonna tell you to you like this, and when you're talking about saying yes to God for real, it's a life sentence, right? It's a life sentence.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
There's no parole at this particular point, and I don't want you to think that you're bound and you're in a slave like demeanor in it, but what it is more so a privilege, right? I'm casting my yes to pick up this privilege of being a higher standard being, right? I've realized how much, and I thought about this when I was younger. There's a lot of times, and I think maybe it just resonated with a couple other people. There's a lot of times where we'd be tasked with some chores, right? And if you have brothers and sisters like myself, I have 7 of them. If you said yes to something, right, you had a lot to do. Like, hey, you got to go do these dishes. Well, that's dishes for 10 people, right? And if my parents don't delegate it, somebody's got to choose, or they'll choose for you. So, and the way that our hierarchy worked in the house is, the older ones kind of got the responsibility put on them at first. I'm one of the older, but after time went on, and there was enough to spread the work, it was then, I'm going to assign this to you unless somebody wants to go ahead and say yes and do it, and they get it out the way, then they get a break. It was a privilege at that point in time to take on this work, this great work, this good work, something that was necessary for the function of our family, because it gave you, watch this, after you struggled with it, and really it wasn't a struggle, after you just strained a little bit to do the work, because it costs some energy, you get a break. And that break was elongated. Why? Because since you went first, everybody else has to do their turn before it comes back around to you. Now the anxiety's off.
Yeah.
Now the pressure is off. I went ahead and I worked first so I can play later. What you don't realize is whenever you go ahead and you say yes to God, it's only a life sentence to work now for us to play later.
Ooh.
Let me put it in terms. Let me put it in terms for those people that are really Bible thumbers that really truly believe in God. They really believe, that He's to come back, right? Suffer with me now, so you reign later. And don't see saying yes doesn't force God to put pressure on us. That's us accepting it willingly. See, my parents
sacrifice.
My parents, it's never been the point to where we should want to have to be pressed into something. It should be us wanting to go ahead and take action into the very thing that we know is good for us. Right? Denial of yourself. About denial of yourself, because self says, I don't want to be in pain, agony, angst, or I don't want too much put on me. Self wants to be okay where it's at.
Comfortable.
But God requires us to move to where we're going, to improve to where He's at. So when you deny self, which wants to stay where it's at, be cool, calm, and collective, without any real responsibility, right? No charge, no demand. You don't take the time to actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Go ahead and do it yourself, right? Go ahead and just go be an action taker, right? Self doesn't want to do so because they're fine where they're at. When you actually take that action, and the action is a yes, and that yes has a weight, and that weight is the work, and you do the work, then you become what? Complete in the work, and then you are worthy for God. It's a conveyor belt. It starts with the yes. Go do the work. Just know what's required of you when you say yes. If you don't do it of your own will, go ahead, Carl. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt your thought. I just something came up for me when you're talking. I want you to finish your thought though.
And then I'll share after him.
I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm gonna say it like this and close, because it comes down to a willingness and a purposeful giving of yourself. A willingness. Yes is, if you say yes, you give consent. When you say yes, you give charge. Yes is a very powerful word.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When you say yes to authority, you submit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carlos. I gotta breathe for a second. Wait.
Man, you have some fire points, brother. Look, first off, you just explained how I got through college, right? You know how you go to school and the professor's lecturing, and then I'll be the first one to raise my hand and ask a question and make a comment. But that freed me all semester because I know they wasn't gonna come to me. They was like, "Let me see who haven't made a comment yet." Right? I was good. You know what I'm saying? I got my participation in early. You feel me?
No.
You also made me think about the life sentence, bro. Like, man, that's so heavy. Like, when you was talking probation, and that, bro, that's my lane, right? You know, I'm a social worker, you know, and I'm working with those who are justice involved. And the same way, like, I hate to use this analogy, but man, you jump off the porch, you know what I'm saying, and you get in them streets, man. The streets don't forget, you know what I'm saying. You can only be a toe in it, or you can be knee deep in it, or all the way in it. But you better, if you're gonna be in it, be in it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to this kingdom, man, you can't play with it either, man. I know we talked about the hot versus cold and the lukewarm, but once you say yes, man, look, I hate to say it, it's blood in, blood out. You feel what I'm saying? Like, don't play with this. You know what I mean? And we have to choose God every single day. Like, every day we wake up, I got to choose God. I have to choose his way. I have to choose. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. I have to choose his way because my way is going to get me locked up, right? My way is going to always fail. And I think, too, like, yes, it's easy to say, right? But it's not always easy to do. So that's what came up for me when you was talking.
Or mean.
And
Right.
I would like, and now Carlo and Los, definitely what you just shared there, and piggyback still off of you, Sonny, and what y'all just said about that life sentence. And I know, Sonny, you were trying not to point in about the servitude, but look at what Christ said when those who trying to be first. If you really talking about want to be recognized or even in the kingdom, you can't be up there trying to be up there high, trying to think you up there running. So that's why, again, it's so important that we saying yes to serving. That's why I was thinking about, like I said, with this ordeal that I had to happen on Friday. My mind, like I had already told my principal, I just want to be a team player, and I want to be able to work and make sure that we able to still keep a peaceful work going. I wasn't, by no means, I wasn't looking for no name. I wasn't trying to look for none of that and that, any of that. But God worked out, and like I said, when this assistant principal was trying so hard to do what he did to ostracize and thought that, oh yeah, and said that some of my coworkers fell into that unethical, and that's what sometimes we say yes to things that are not what God have purpose for us. Because many times we can go through and we'll start trying to say, thinking that we doing God's will by saying yes. And I know Carlos was getting ready to say that even in the church, we can jump up and talk about something, we gonna do stuff, but this ain't what God had planned for you, or God has planned for you to be, for him to be glorified in. We still are fair, and we have our mindset on doing stuff, and that's why I try to talk to fellow Christians that's around this area I'm in, especially on the young people. Don't try to be looking for names because when you trying to look for a name and trying to look to be up there, those who trying to be first, God already know you ain't about to be looked at. You ain't about to be, because God gonna use who he gonna be able to use, because God has that power to rise up. And that's what God tell Paul, but you can plant and land water, but God gonna be the one that's giving the increase. So therefore, with this work, I'm just focused on the service end of it. God made it his will that he told my principal, it had it on my principal heart today to come and tell me that, oh yeah, you're going to be the department head because you're the one that been showing the work, and you've been showing the work all along. So it was like just to fool me that I wouldn't have ever thought she would have came up and been like, oh yeah, I've been seeing you. Yeah, I've been seeing you and been peeping you out since last year. You already ready. You already was up here doing the work. So, and that's what I'm saying. So when we look at stuff like that, we say yes, be yes, and right now, God gonna already be moving yes and stuff that we already be doing sometime, and you don't even know. But when we focus on his purpose, them yeses ain't gonna be hard in that service. Like what you said, that life sentence is gonna be peaceful. That life sentence is gonna be in. And like Carlos said, blood in and blood out. That blood in is gonna be nothing but a life flowing blood, good blood.
Hello.
I tell him, give you some of that blood. And like I was telling somebody I go work today, they gonna be mad because they was accepting, he accepted stuff. He was trying his best, being like, yeah, because this dude done told you. Well, unfortunately, you accepted that unethical offer. Now you gonna be looking crazy tomorrow once my principal let you know that it's back on me. Yeah. So that's why I said, get him that real blood and blood. That's that good blood when you blood in for God and being all in with that. That's that life-saving blood right there. So you gonna be straight. That ain't no bad life sentence.
So I just thought about back to Sunday service, my second Sunday service. And we were in Genesis 4, and Cain killed his brother, correct? Right?
Correct.
And God was like, what did you do? So Cain already said yes to that, right? He stuck to it. He was like, am I not my brother's keeper? Like, I didn't know. I wasn't. God, we're supposed to choose God every day. And when you said that, it just reminded me about how Cain thought, like, I'm going to be killed because now I can't cultivate. I can't fulfill my gift that was given to me. But God chose him to spare him. to anyone who killed him would be punished 7 times worse.
Yeah.
So why we should
God
choose God every day because he chooses us. He chose
right.
us.
God asked him that rhetorical question for that reason. See, it's just to show him that don't be trying to outthink me, because God gonna always end up showing we can't never outthink him.
I know, yeah. I don't know. That just
let's move on.
Wow.
With using Cain and Abel, because I think there's a pretty interesting and pretty creative way to think about that. Because you're right, God did choose him. He had a covering over them because he gave them a yes. I gave you all my charge as my creation and as my beloved ones, right? And then at the same time, Cain, being his brother's keeper, and also, committing the atrocity, right? He committed the atrocity, but he said, you know what? I owned up to this, right? I came being asked of a situation and I had to own up to it. So even though, oh my God, though, and yes, Trey, own the yes, even though I have done something that something that is completely and utterly wrong in the sight of God, because I've given him a yes, and because he has a yes over my life, because I picked him up and now he's a part of me. My weight is getting harder, but my sentence still stays intact. I've still got a life sentence with him. He didn't throw me away. That's what's great about God. That's what's so wonderful about our Creator, is that when we give him a yes, even when we do something that makes him say no, he still will keep us.
Yes. You didn't preach that. You didn't preach that. That's the invitation right there. That's the invitation to come to Jesus right there, bro. Like, you just even saying that. That was the invitation right there.
That's why I said earlier.
So wonderful.
That's why I said earlier.
Like, it's so wonderful. I'm sorry. Imagine having a long, you're given something that you think is gonna break you, but it's gonna do the opposite. It's gonna make you.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that. Does that not sound amazing? Like, that sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but it's for you. It's for your own good that you work first and reign later.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give it to you all at once, because you won't respect it. You gotta work. You gotta go through the mud. You're gonna have to cry a little bit. You're gonna have to not sleep. You're gonna have to check yourself.
Oh, you know what comes up for me when you just said that?
Yeah.
So man, what was that Drake line with that Rick Ross and Drake line? He said, man, you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym, right? Like, everybody want to be down, you know what I'm saying, when it's like when it's time to be up. But it's like, who gonna be with me, in these trenches, in the mud? You feel what I'm saying? Like, like, the Lord is like, man, look, man, if you stay with me while I'm down, you feel me? When I come up, it's gonna be eternal glory. And we can't even comprehend that, really. Like, when we hear streets of gold, that's just a figurative image. You feel what I'm saying? Like, think about what it means to really choose God. Like, that's why I love this question, because we're talking about choosing God. Like, you can't lose.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're committed, you can't. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's
all right there. Welcome.
For anybody.
Welcome.
Hey.
There you go.
It's good to have you in here.
Bro.
Yeah, welcome. On that block. Come through.
Carlos, what you just said, like, oh my gosh, like, no one wants to be there for when you failed a drill 5 times.
Right.
No one is there when no one thought that you could run 10, 15 suicides back to back. And now you're an NBA star. No one wants to be there for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They want to be there for the 10.
Right.
Oh
Listen,
my God.
that's why that's why I said, we call it a cost, but it's really a privilege.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
like my boy
Yeah.
said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, right? You don't
Yeah.
know you can't feel my struggle because you ain't see my hustle, right? All we're really doing,
Mhm.
when we say yes, is giving us an opportunity to be part of the winning team.
That's it.
That's it right
We're
there.
stepping up to be part of the winning team. That's it. Like if you're on the fence right now, and I didn't mean this to be an altar call or anything like that, but if you're on the fence right now, wondering if the cost of yes is worth your time, worth your life, worth your very essence, I'm here to tell you right now that the privileges outweigh the cost. There's way more perks than there are
Yeah.
penalties. And even when you get in a situation where you commit a penalty, guess what? You're covered with some insurance because you said yes to the one who has it all covered.
Yeah.
That's the
You ain't
altar
good
call
hands.
right there, bro. That's
Yeah.
it.
The word.
The insurance of the blood. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I had to holler on that one. I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, I had to. That one. Yeah, that was too good. There, you.
Yeah.
Man, why y'all stop?
I had to breathe.
So we waiting on you. Yeah, and we waiting on you to break through. You was up in here and that preacher. You didn't. Yeah. You up
I
in
had to
there?
breathe.
You in there?
I'm sorry. I had to breathe.
Man, I've been listening, man, and I'm just blown away you guys' maturity and your responses to the question, the post on tonight. And even for Trinity to be able to use references from a sermon on Sunday, how to get away with murder. It goes back to that same opening statement that I gave. When we say yes, it requires the death of something. That means something that holds value to us. It's not the fact that we're losing something. And I think oftentimes we look at coming to Jesus, coming to Christ, becoming a disciple is the essence of losing. But when we really look at, and I don't want to stretch this too far, but when we really look at the essence of victory, oftentimes those who are victorious at some point look like they were losing. When I look at Jesus on the cross, the devil thought he won. When I look at how they took Jesus down off of the cross and they placed him in the tomb, the devil thought he won. What I need to tell somebody tonight is that when we say yes, we have nothing left to prove.
Mhm.
Amen.
Oftentimes when we say yes, we feel like we have to prove the affirmative. We feel like we have to prove that we are really legit or really in tune to the decision that we made. But you don't have to prove anything. You just have to be what you say yes to. You have to honor what you say yes to. And then the juxtaposition on that is sometimes we often say yes out of fear.
Help us. Help us.
Sometimes people say yes out of fear, not out of belief. Um,
They're not hearing you.
the church is very, very how can I put this? The church has done a very, very a very good job at this particular thing, is to fear people or to scare people into belief, scare people into salvation. We talk about heaven and hell. We talk about, if we don't obey the gospel, you're going to hell. If you don't do this, you're going to hell. Or if you're not in this church, you're going to hell. Or if you don't, perform like this, you're going to hell. And sometimes when we don't like people, we tell them they can go to hell. Y'all can say that.
Yeah. You might as well speak the truth.
But-
Speak the
but-
truth. Help. Yeah, out. But
trying to help the church right here. But truth be told, and y'all have heard me say this before, heaven is not a place for people who fear hell. It's a place for people who love God.
Yes.
The power of a yes is an affirmative. It's a decision that we make regardless of the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody missed that.
Yeah, come on, say it again.
Is a decision for the affirmative despite the outcome.
Yes, sir.
Many times we make the yes decision out of fear because we don't like the alternative, or we make the yes decision, a decision in the affirmative because we only want the prize.
Yeah.
Come on, help us. Help us.
So if I'm making decisions to say yes because I only want the prize, then what happens when the prize seems like it's no longer my grasp?
Yeah.
And that's oftentimes why people leave the church. That's oftentimes why people leave Christianity. That's oftentimes why people stop even going after a business venture or an idea because they gotta know.
Yeah.
Or the prize seemed so far away, or it seemed so invaluable or intangible, if you will. Not invaluable, but intangible. Like I can't reach this thing. And so our yeses become I give ups.
Yeah.
Forfeited.
Do. Yeah.
And we forfeit the prize because we made the decision based off the end result, not by how we could learn and grow and evolve in the journey.
Wow.
Can I, Carlos, if you don't mind by me saying something real quick, I just thought about what you were just saying.
I'm done. That's all.
Yeah, because bro, you definitely hit on point. And another thing you add in, and I'm gonna try not to take this. I don't hope we don't dig in too far on this because this is getting a good topic. But we also, another reason why we also back out, because we also can also pay attention to other people's prizes too. And that's a hurt over thing. We can be paying attention to other people's prizes too. That's even worse.
That's a good point. And we track our progress based on how somebody else is progressing.
Yes, sir. Help us.
All right, son, it's yours.
My boy Paige, man, what shirt you got on, bro?
Hey, we know what it do, man.
You
know what I'm saying? You know what it do, my guy. You already know what it do, my guy. Yeah, you heard me.
Key, say something.
I see. Mount up.
Say something.
Your hat, sunny feet.
I had to go ahead and join the crew real quick.
We are champions. I would sing a song for y'all, man, but
I used to think that I used to always connect saying yes to I'm gonna get messed over. But I'm a nice person, so I'm gonna say yes. And I wonder if that's a fear or if that's just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I absolutely believe it can be. Sometimes we say yes so that we don't have to deal with somebody else's negativity as well.
100%.
And that's a fear. You're living in somebody else's narrative.
Or I don't want to disappoint.
Come on. Ooh.
That too.
I was about to go there.
Or I don't want to disappoint.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hold on. Finish your point, Trent. I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure I heard you.
No, I said, or I don't want to disappoint. I have gotten to a point in my life where I can say yes, mean it, commit to it, do it. It's done. And say no because I know yes isn't good for you.
Mm.
So that's something I've struggled because I didn't know how to say no because I only knew yes.
Yeah,
When
because
I
that sounds
learned
like
no,
you didn't want to be rejected. You didn't want to be rejected for that person.
when I learned that no isn't always a punishment, it's
Right.
sometimes reinforcement.
They there, Doc.
Yeah.
They there, Doc. No is a
Yeah.
complete. You know what I'm saying? No does not need explanation. You feel me? No don't need no justification. It just is what it is. And let's just be honest. Some of us deal with codependency. You know what I mean? Some of us, it's just that's a
the
real
word.
thing.
Codependency.
Yep.
Well, why is it? I want to pose a question. Then why is it that we always look at no's as negative? Does it start with an N? I mean, you know,
I feel it's associated
Hold
with. Sorry.
because
No. Go ahead.
Carlos.
Trendy, I want you to go ahead because if I start, I ain't gonna stop. I want you to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think go ahead.
Well, let me finish this part of thought, and then Trent jump in. Then Sonny, you got it, man. Why is it that we associate no's with negativity? Because I think that you can't have a yes without having a no. That's one of the first things I learned in sales is that you got to get through the no's to get to the yes. But every time that there is a no, or every time there's a yes, there's a no that preceded it.
Yeah.
How do I know that? That's a theological principle. That's a theological implication. Because guess what? God saw the sin of man. God was there for the fall of man. And the penalty for sin was death. Y'all follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
God said no to death for us.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for him to say no to death for us, he had to say yes to giving us his son.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He didn't just give his son because there wasn't if there wouldn't have been a need for Jesus to come, then God would not have had to send his only son. He would not have had to sacrifice his only son. So because there was a problem, oh God, most of the time when a yes is given, it's because a problem arises first.
Yes, sir.
All the time.
So many times we focused on the problems that we can't even see clear enough to see that there's a yes out there. There's an answer. Yes is an answer.
Yeah.
Yes is an answer to a problem that your no discover. Oh God. Yes is the answer to a problem that your no discovered.
Help us.
All right, I'm through.
Trinity.
She's stressed that over there. She's stressed that.
I love no. That ain't stress. That's not stress. That's revelation. I like that.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. You're about to drop something heavy.
Yeah.
You're about to drop something heavy.
I'm gonna go ahead since you teed me up.
Hold it in and then let it out, sis. Hold it in and then let it out now.
Man. You said something there. Because the issue is we're using the wrong P word sometimes. Or you're using the N word when we should be using the P word, right? Or actually an O word. I'm gonna get to it in a second, right? So a lot of times you say that we correlate no with negativity. And yeah, they both start with N, but they don't necessarily run as running mates. And then some people say, well, no indicates a problem, and that may be so to a degree if you're looking at it from one point of view. But if you're looking at it at the whole scape with your whole mind, Now it's not a problem, but it's an opportunity. No is the identifying of a fresh opportunity that can happen in your life. And when you work through that no, you get to the yes, which is the signification that we have found that opportunity and fulfilled that opportunity. A lot of people stop at no. And that's the issue. No can complete something if it is definite. If it's something that's definite, when we're talking about something factual, if you say no, then that all encompassing no is that it. That's the period. That's where we stop and we go to something else. But what are we going to? Another opportunity. When you get to when you're seeking something, though, when you're looking for something, and you come up on an obstacle, a no, a halt, a cease, a moment of what should be a moment of clarity, we make it a moment of clamor, right? Because in sales, when you get to that no, you now understand where my boundaries are and what I have to work through, right? I know now I can work with you. I know now I can work my opportunity through these parameters. It's giving me the point of view. It's giving me exactly where I need to be to get to this yes. But when you look at it as clamor, you think no is there's no, we're done. When it comes to this, what's up, brother? When it comes to this living for God thing, watch this. Let me illustrate this for this way. The no's that are pointed in our face, from the standards that are put there after we say yes, a lot of people look at those things as negative things or as complete and utter problems. But I'm here to declare to you today that when you look at the no's that God has put in our life, there are opportunities for us to show God through that situation. When it said, hey, you know what you can't do because you're a part of me, that's another opportunity to show somebody else who he is through that no. Not demean somebody at the no. I'm gonna bring it together for you. Let's make it practical. Let's make it real. Okay. Let's make it fun. Hey, whenever you say yes to God, then you have to deny yourself of certain things that put you in places that would put you in danger, right? So I said yes to God. So maybe I shouldn't be out here at 3 a.m. in the club going and getting my drink on around all these particular people that don't have my best interest in mind. To somebody who has a point of view that think that's all fun, then that's a negative. For somebody that has a point of view to think that those people aren't worthy or worth what you said yes to, then you think it's a problem. But it's actually an opportunity. No, I can't necessarily go there with that thinking, with that idea in mind to go have fun, and I can't also sit in a position of scoring this and dump on those people. What I have to do is find a way to make an opportunity to reach those folks. Because I said, yes, I got the tools to be able to do so. I have an opportunity to bring people from that standard to God's standard. I have an opportunity. The no's are showing me the people that I'm supposed to lead.
Oh,
yep.
We get it twisted though. Because we look at everything as personal. We look at everything as selfish. We take a selfish yes, and it ain't even about you.
Okay.
Not
Agreed.
You illustrate my playground when I say yes to God, and I see the parameters in which I can work in. Yes, I can do this. No, I probably shouldn't. Yes, I can do this. No, I probably shouldn't. Okay, what's at those no's? More people who need to say yes. Great. All I have to do is reach them now. Oh my God. Remember what I told you? We got insurance from God. I'm able to walk in that place. I'm able to walk into that circumstance or that situation of that no, now as a liaison, not as a particular person who is partaking in it. And then I have the opportunity to show somebody who is godlike and who has God all state, you know what I'm saying, in the good hands, in that situation that is a problem for their life.
Help us.
And what we do then? I mean, part of saying yes is also professing God to who he is and being a witness. You just go do some work. You create a relationship.
What
Man,
I was going
I want to say this real quick, man. My system just crashed again. My phone just died again. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let y'all close it out. Take it the rest of the way. Um, but I'll be back online watching you guys from YouTube. Um, this hit me though. This actually hit me Monday. Uh, or was it Friday? It was one of these days. It was a recent day, and it was just a thought that came about as I was going through my day at work. Right, started storming. Started storming. Um, and the funny thing about the storm is that you never really identify the elements of the storm. You just know that it's storming. Um, and when we talking about this yes and no um, position and how it cost us something and all of that, something profound hit me, and it's simple. Do you know that thunder and lightning happens at about the same time?
Yeah.
Thunder and lightning happens at the same time. But the problem is that because light travels faster than sound.
You see it.
If we're not paying attention, if we're not looking up, we won't see the light. But whatever you do, you're going to hear the sound. And the problem is, oh God, the problem is that when we get so distracted in the storm, we don't see the light that flashes to let us know that there's hope. We don't see the light that flashes to let us know that light travels faster than sound. That means God has already gave us an answer long before way before we were even able to identify the chaos and all of the noise around us. But the noise sometimes is so loud that it distracts us from seeing the light.
Run it, brother.
Hello.
But they all hit at the same time. They both hit at the same time. Somebody say this hits at the same. This hits the same.
At the same time.
This hits the same. They both hit at the same time, but because one causes you to focus, and one can take your focus.
Ooh, see,
I got something.
And see, and I was like, that was so good. I'm gonna let that marinate for a moment, but that's why it was always sit here and add on a sermon that most remember is the ones that's best live versus here. Cause we can throw stuff out talking about what we hear, but when we see somebody, that's what it called. So you made that analogy even for that point there. I know you may not have been thinking about it if you hadn't. That's there right there. That's that real is seeing. And when the sermon that's lived out. And Sonny, you also were hitting on that. Like, yeah, you go in there when people can end up seeing with you being able to live out God work, they gonna be seeing it. If they paying it, they gonna see it quicker than that here. So yeah, that was good, bro. That was good.
So I remember what I was going to say earlier before I
come through.
Shut down. My computer shut down. And then this could be it because it's really mediocre. At my job, there's a procedure called extinction. And if there's an undesired behavior where we don't want to see that behavior occur, we ignore it. We don't give any reinforcement to it. We don't pay attention. You don't get anything. So you could just do it. You could run around the room, scream, whatever, but we're not reinforcing it. When you sit in your seat, when you ask for help politely, when you do the right thing, we're going to reinforce you every time.
Yeah.
That gives you a perspective to do better, be a better you, to get to the yes. And that's growth.
Yeah.
It's extinction, but it's growth. Because now the behavior no longer occurs. You are better than what you were prior to what you were doing.
Trinity, thank you for putting the word to that. Thank you for putting the word to that, because I was like, I do that in my classroom when students sit up there and do that, and I couldn't even think of that. So thank you for sharing that word.
It's so easy to say, "Oh, you're running around the room. I don't want you to run around the room. Let me give you a piece of candy so you'll sit down." So now you get to do the aversive behavior and get what you want. You don't get to do the right thing and get what you want. However, it's easy to get, it's easy, so-called easy to get a yes, get a piece of candy, but it's not long lasting. So now you have a reoccurring behavior and nothing's changed. Nothing's grown. You're doing the same thing and not getting anything besides it.
Did I just hear you say you got to kill yourself? You have to put to death the things that you were already doing that were not fitting within the mold of what it takes to be a part of this, whatever, this organization, this place of work for you, but conceptually, to be a part of the ranks of God. Did I hear that right? You have to be extinct to the things that you normally fall to, and then you get
to what you worked before. Yes, to what has worked before, you must extinct that.
To what you were before.
Yep. Oh man, talk that talk.
Wow. Mediocre my tail. That's amazing.
Right. That show went on mediocre points.
I take it back.
Period. That was not it.
That's amazing. You just so eloquently express that one must deny himself and change his ways. When
that's whole gospel.
When being in the seat to get what you promised now, to get what you promised, the things that you promised, the things that I want to give you. I want to. God says I want to reward you. Like I haven't done all this work. I didn't complete the task. I didn't set this world up. I didn't give you these things to have dominion and power over. I didn't give you other people to mingle around. I didn't let you stay lonely. I didn't keep you in the dark to just destroy you, enslave you, put you in positions and not give you the things and desires of your heart that I made. All I ask of you is to deny your old self and make these small progressive actions of getting closer to me, of getting closer to the standard that I've set. And I'll give you everything. And watch this. The more you do it, the more you get. It's that easy. I'm shutting up.
Exactly.
Y'all done just gave the invitation. And now who all want to come to Jesus? Because I was like, this is only a come to Jesus moment now. Y'all did.
Yeah. Because we can end on that because
wait,
Go. Come on, Trent. What you gonna say?
What, Carlos? You go ahead.
No, Trinity, I want to come after you.
Trent on the road now.
So, and it's hard because these are kids with autism, and they're so cute, but you want to see them happy, right? You want it so bad. Like, they're so cute. You better ignore them running around this room because they're not going to get this. They're not going to get a break. They're not going to get on the trampoline.
Yeah.
They gonna sit down when they know you're not paying attention. Like when you're no longer reinforcing that this is unacceptable. You're not gonna grow from this. You're not gonna use this in the real world. You're gonna sit down, do your task, and get what you want. And this is how it works. You're gonna do the work. Yeah, you're gonna cry because I'm not paying attention to you, and you can cry about it, but I'm still not giving you a piece of candy because you didn't work for it.
See, and you had to mention autism. Matter of fact, my wife's cousin is autistic, and my seventh grade I had in my class last year. Nobody on campus could hardly deal with her, and I was like, yeah, and I was looking like, and I used to tell her she used to throw temper tantrums all in the room, baby.
And they do nothing to me.
We gonna baby, we gonna still need you to sit down in this seat, cause baby, you're not gonna rush me. I'm not gonna be able to still help you with what you're
really
going.
hard.
And I'm still, and all I'm gonna do it because I holler too. So, baby, I'm trying not to holler like you because I be hollering and everything around here too. So I'm gonna need you to go and have a seat. And after she realized, the baby came to me and said, "I apologize to you, Mr. Smith." And I was like, huh? And she ain't told nobody else that on that campus. And they was like, Mr. Smith, how you, baby? We already know. So yeah, so Trent, you was already ready. You done blew me away with that point already. You did, I'm through just for that. You blew me away with that point. That's right there. That extinction of negative behavior. Yes, I'm glad you gave me the psychological turn to put to it. Love it.
Yeah,
Carlos, tap in, bro.
He was in her bag. You feel me? Talking that clinical talk.
Right. Yeah. Trent brought that, and then I was sitting up there struggling trying to figure out what that type of behavior that is. And I was like, Trent, and sit up here and said the word extinction. I was like, all right now.
This is what came up for me when y'all talk, man. So I'm just gonna read a verse. And first, thank y'all for letting me share space with y'all again. I really appreciate it.
Amen, bro.
Thank you.
It's Psalm 78, right? And I'm just gonna paraphrase it, but like in Psalm 78, there's like this idea of like, man, like why does God doesn't God get upset or take it personal when we do wrong, when we do wickedness, right? And then like the psalmist says in verse 39, verse 38, it starts, he was merciful, he forgave their iniquities, and he did not destroy them. And time after time he restrained his anger and did not stir up his full wrath. And verse 39 is the one. He remembered that they were but flesh, a passing breeze that does not return, right? And it's like, man, God, man, we humans out here, you know what I'm saying? We are his creation. And it just reminds me, man, like the analogy, like here we are, we be antsy, we be running around trying to make stuff happen, doing the most. And God just sitting here like, all right, man, I'm just gonna let them tire themselves out until they're ready to sit, right? And then you start thinking about what God told Moses, man, stand still and watch my salvation, right? It's not to sit still and really be like, okay, God, and see, this is what it means to choose God, right? We go out here and we bust plays, we bust moves, you know what I'm saying? We do all this stuff, exhaust all this energy, be out of breath, and then be like, man, God, so where you at? And then God is like, I'm sitting here just waiting on you to choose me, right? Try my way. You know, we can't deny flesh on our own because, I mean, it's not in us. But the only way I can deny flesh is when I choose the better option, which is the God option. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that brings the conversation full circle for me because, like, you know, we're still God's kids. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just like Trinity's talking about kids in the classroom, you want to reward them, bless them, and see them thrive. And God wants to bless us, see us thrive. But it's almost like, man, we gotta be better. We gotta slow down, tap in, tune in, lock in, trust him, right, and let him work. You know, we gotta let him work.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Dang.
Hey, family.
Hey, Tay.
For a second, I'm back.
What do you say, Sonny?
I was saying, welcome back, Tay.
Thanks.
I think we're at our final thoughts.
Yes. Yeah, because I ain't lying. I don't want to start because we'll be on here. I know it. We're gonna be respectful, and I know first day of school tomorrow is real for me. So I'm like, yeah.
What time were y'all at? 9:30?
Yeah. No, we in Eastern. Yeah, we in Eastern. So so we 3 hours difference from you, bro.
9:20, they're 10.
Okay.
I don't have enough to say, y'all. My brain is just.
It's what, Trent?
I couldn't even find the word for it. I just had to hum for it.
And that's what came out?
Yeah.
This is just, well, definitely applies to my life at the moment on every level.
Yeah. Me too.
And it's like,
I love it. Yeah.
I keep thinking like this can't speak to me every week. They just tap dancing on my life with these topics. But it's like every time we talk, it feels clear. After every conversation, it's clear.
Yeah.
And I understand more, and I feel more competent about God the more and more we talk about stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I love you guys. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, sis, we're gonna
So
continue to
y'all
pray
not gonna
with you. That the
say
more
that.
you know.
We love you
No,
too.
I was just
Y'all just like
we love you, sis. And like I said, what you in the more you knowing, now you knowing, now you know now you now you gotta just do it. Be Nike. Nike, do it. We gotta
so.
encourage ourselves as we do it. So
That's wonderful. That's a wonderful expression because that's exactly what growth group's about. Like the more we dig into this, the more competent we should feel, because the more connected we're getting with the truth. I mean, you know, this this isn't from the point of view of Sonny or from the point of view of Paige. This is God's platform first and foremost, and so you know, it's for us to go ahead and give out all that we have for each other and for everyone else. And so as this has been going on, as we've been growing, and as these episodes have been coming, like this is the third season. Like this was just an idea stemmed from two people that has grown into a council now of eight. I'm gonna say 8+ because every time we have a guest on here, it's like they're part of the council. You know what I'm saying?
For
My boy
sure.
Carlos is sure vetted here. Anybody that comes on here and drops gems like that gives of themselves freely. You know what I'm saying? Any one of us that are given a yes to be dedicated to everyone's growth and development in life, and also in their spiritual walk. Man, this is what it's about. So you
The
know,
feeling.
definitely want to go ahead and get this closing out the way for sure, though,
Yeah.
because it has been a bit long for y'all. We started a little late, and Carlos still with these technical difficulties. So if you'd like, I know Trini's giving your final thought. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm gonna leave Taylor to last since she was away for a while.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
May I go on and
So-
share mine real quick?
Go ahead, Lon, because I
May I
know
go
you
and share
gotta keep
mine?
going. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I want to go and share my ads, and I just want to just go back to saying I'm so thankful for everybody sharing their insight. It's like Lord knows I'm deeply blessed and about what was shared. To just sum up on my endpoints and the price of saying yes, and just ultimately the price of saying God's yes and the price of God's yeses to us is gonna be even more priceless. Because when God say yes to us, it's no man can say no, and ain't nothing can be done about it. When God say yes, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We also have to trust in His no, and that's why I was so thankful that was brought up. His no's, God's no's to us is not ever negative. It's for the mere fact that God want us to again be preserved in the way that He want us to. So His no, so we got to so us as children of Him have to end up taking that His yeses and His no's are priceless.
Yeah.
Whatever He says in His direction is always for the betterment of us. So with that being said, I pray that we will be encouraged to value and consider His yeses as well as His no's, or even maybes. Whatever God says is always going to be priceless in our lives, and we just need to be able to accept that as so. Much love, y'all.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Lonnie. Beautiful. Kiki.
I'm sad I missed. That was a.
Yes. Close. Y'all gonna get enough of that with me.
Got love, Kiki.
Sorry. I
got
literally
love,
thought
Kiki.
you were gonna say yes. Mic drop.
Closing. Three things. First thing, I want to thank Carlos up here above me for your service. Thank you for your service. You know, who you work with, the field you work in. And then with you being a black man, that's amazing. I don't know how often you hear it, but
Thank you.
thank you for your service. Second thing, when this conversation comes up with my friends or family or whoever, I always give them the analogy of, or the metaphor, whatever. Sleeping right now. I'm always like, okay, are you ready for this crown? Like, they're like, well, yeah. Well, and then there's just thinking about all the good things, but yeah, there are some good things that come with this crown. It's beautiful, it's prestigious. There's a lot of things that come with it, but there's also a lot of work that goes behind it. Um, I don't know how many documentaries or how much you research about kingdoms or queens and kings, all of what it takes to wear that crown. That crown is heavy. That crown comes with a job, but you also get the kingdom. That's number 2. Number 3. This is a question to put on the wheel for later. I've heard all of you guys talk about the importance of the yes and the, all of what comes with the yes. My unpopular opinion and my question is, if Christians know all of what goes into this answer, why do we ask this question, children? That's it.
Wait, what was your question?
Write it down.
If we have discussed for an hour and 30 minutes all of what goes into the answer of the yes, all of the sacrifice and the hard work and the knowledge and the grace and the mercy and all of that, and how even sometimes we as adults don't understand the magnitude of that question or even what our answer is going to yield. My question is, if we know how hard this question is and how important it is, then why do we give this question to children?
Got it.
Queen Kiki.
It's gonna be on the board next week. Just saying. Carlos, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be
There's something to put on the wheel.
It's gonna be.
Because
it's my
heavy commitment, though.
It's my very unpopular opinion. I feel like children shouldn't be baptized because I don't feel like they understand what they're agreeing to. But it's
we gonna talk about it.
Queen Kiki.
But I think there's a difference between baptism and christening, right? Because christening is like an offering to God, while a baptism is a personal choice. So I get what you're saying, though. But
we gonna talk about it.
Yeah. That's a good point, though.
Look.
All right, Queen Kiki.
You in this?
All right, Queen. Queen. All right, Queen. All right, Queen Kiki.
Carlos, of course, I gotta give you the floor, brother. Grace us with your closing.
Okay. Closing thoughts. You guys are doing a great work. This is organic. It feels good. It feels right. Just it's encouraging and refreshing to see our age group talking about God in a real way. You know what I'm saying? And I just pray we keep choosing God. You know what I'm saying? Because there are days where choosing God is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like some days I want to go bad. Some days I want to flash on somebody, or I want to let the wolf out, but He called me to be a sheep.
Help us.
Lastly, we got to keep encouraging and supporting each other, man. That's how we get through this thing too. So like, I remember in marriage counseling, they said, man, one of y'all got to be the strong person at all times, right? So maybe today it ain't me, but I need you to be strong, and then vice versa. So when we are in, on these front lines and in this wilderness and in these battles, be strong for each other. So those are my closing thoughts, and I appreciate y'all.
Amen. Amen, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Much love, brother. Much love. Taylor. It's your
Yes,
floor.
ma'am.
I'm really sad that I missed the heavy chunk of this conversation. But my friend was on, so she said it was great. So good job, guys. Wow. I think it's still, I think Lonnie had said it. It was like knowing God's yes and God's no. You know, like that's where all the meat and the, I don't know, like that's where the real substance is, you know? And I think before I left, when Carlos was like, there's a difference between not being able to and not even having the wantingness to do it anymore. Right. And knowing that like your no, there's a power in no too. Right. Like saying, no, I don't have to do that because I've already committed to something else. You know, I've already said yes to something. So this old person, this old identity that I had, it's no longer, you know? So I hope it all made sense. But like the premise of our yes and God's yes need to align pretty much. And it's a real commitment to say yes. So when Key asked, like, why are we asking kids to say yes to something that even us as adults can't even commit to, you know? But I mean, like the word says, train a child up the way that he should go. So, you know, like it's one of those. But yeah, it's a serious yes, and it's not an easy one either, you know? So.
Amen. Tay. Appreciate you, sis. Amen to that, sis. I'd say that point. On point.
Listen, first off, I want to say that I'm extremely proud of the council tonight. Extremely happy that we made it this far into this endeavor that we're trying. Season 3, guys. Season 3. And beyond that,
yes.
beyond that, you know, I've been on the receiving end of a lot of positive comments and people waiting to see this and hear this, and they're up trying to get space and time to see us, but not to see us, but to see God through this. And I'm so happy that this platform is doing just that. I want to say in the closing, and I want to speak to some of the audience, be it today, be it tomorrow, be it 2 years from now when you come across this. It's okay. It's okay to be afraid of the yes. I'm gonna say it like this: where you at? It's all right. It's all right to understand that you may not know and you may not think that you're equipped for it, but do it anyway. I charge you, do it anyway. Broke, scared, hungry, by yourself or with other people, do it. If there was ever a time for action, if there was ever a time as this to actually be about something in life, that'd be the things you need to do. Give it yes, give it all. Yes to his will, yes to his way. And let everything else work out. Let it all work out. That's it. But usually Carlos comes on and gives you a wonderful soliloquy at the end. That's all out. I don't got that. That's not my style. So I'm gonna just say good night, peace, love you all. See you again next Tuesday. Promptly, hopefully at 7:00. If we get 7:00 Central Standard Time, if we get all
don't make promises you can't keep.
And let's just let God work on that. We're letting God work on
that. Yeah,
what?
we agree with Trent on that. We agree with Trent.
If you wait on it, we still gonna be waiting. We're gonna have to do some action still now. All right,
right,
we still gonna have to create action. You know.
Yeah.
But
let's have our mind focused on 7 o'clock Central CDT. Yeah, we'll have our mind. Cause I'm proud of the council tonight though. I'm proud of everybody for that. Because everybody was trying to be focused tonight.
Wait, can I say it?
Go ahead.
This has been Growth Group. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off screen.
We'll see y'all next week in the same. What do you say? In the same space, same grace, in the same space,
time, same grace.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Carlos. Don't.
My bad, Carlos. My bad.
He
gonna talk
probably
about for this.
It's all good. I feel like family.